We got Adrian Yanez back here on the program. He's going to be taking on Randy Costa at UFC Fight Night on July 24th. Adrian, how's it going, man?
And I'm doing great, man. I'm just glad to be training and getting back into that cage, man. I'm excited.
This is one of those few fights where I think you made the job of the UFC matchmakers pretty easy. I mean, it sort of seemed like you both wanted to fight each other. I know there's a little bit of back and forth on social media, and here we are with this fight on July 24th. Was it that simple, or how did this all come together?
Yeah, no, it was pretty much that simple. After my last fight, I had a couple call outs and nobody seemed to answer except for Randy Costa. And the way that the call out for Randy Costa ended up happening was people on Twitter were just going nuts, like saying like, man, you should fight Randy Costa. And I guess his mentions were getting blown up. And then it was funny because one of the mentions was like, man, don't be scared to fight him. Don't be scared to fight Adrian. And he was like, no, on the contrary, even though I like him and I like his fighting style, I will fight him. And I remember looking at that tweet and like, I really like this. We're going to go after this. And we both were trying to get on that UFC 262 card with Houston, but little problems here and there happened and wasn't able to happen. But it's rescheduled for July 24th, and I'm pretty excited, pretty happy about it because man, it's a great fun matchup for the both of us. It's a really fun matchup, and how it came together was even better. We're gonna make some MMA Twitter fans is really, really happy on this one.
Yeah, they're the matchmakers essentially. It's pretty cool. And by the way, I hate when fans say that a fighter's scared of someone. Like that's the most ridiculous thing ever. But that's an interview in itself that we could sure dive into. Before we get into the fight, I know it's a different weight class, but you're rep by Iridium. Brandon Moreno just won the title on the weekend. How cool is it to see a guy like him who left the UFC, come back, get the title? Like, does that impact you at all, or even though it's a different weight class?
Man, it does. It really does. It was weird because I remember seeing him. He kind of had a little short stint with the UFC at first, then gets cut, and then he fights for LFA and he goes back in there. He gets the LFA title, and then he gets back into the UFC and works his way into the title contention. Goes to a draw with the guy who was the boogeyman of the division, and ends up going to a draw with him, and then stops him in the next fight. Which is pretty cool. And then also too, it hit me differently because my mom, she doesn't know names. She doesn't know UFC names or anything. She probably knows Cain Velasquez, Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier, Nate Diaz, all of the names that are household names. But she knew Brandon Moreno, and it was just one of those things that me and my mom were able to kind of bond about and talk about Brandon Moreno just in a separate topic, just being able to talk about him, because my mom originated from Mexico. She came here in the 90s, and she a big part of her life is Mexico. So just the culture and the heritage and all that, and to see how Brandon Moreno was impacting my mom, and my mom doesn't know anything. She doesn't know anything about fighting. She knows me, she knows the household names, and she likes to watch the fights with me every once in a while. But if it gets too bloody, she has to walk out the room. But she loves Brandon Moreno. And then I actually have a video of my mom rewatching the last his interview just right after the fight. She watched it 5 times. So it impacts me in not just man, the hard work and dedication, you can actually get there, but also it's impacting me because he's the first UFC Mexico born champ, and to see my mom just wow, this it really hit me in a couple different places. So man, it was really good seeing that. And I remember texting Jason and just be like, dude, this let's I was like, let's fucking go.
Yeah.
So it happened 2 ways for me, and it was really good. It pushes me and it drives me.
Let's talk about Randy Costa. 6-1 record, just an exciting fighter. I mean, this has got Fight of the Night written all over it. How do you feel like you match up against him here?
Man, I feel like I match up well. He's very aggressive, and I'm just looking at my past 2 fights, I tend to counter a little bit more. So it's a really good fight. It matches up very well. I feel like it matches up very well for me, but also he in turn he can he'll say the same thing. He's like, it matches up very well for him, but I feel like it matches up very well for me because he's going to be aggressive. He's going to stand. He's going to come forward, and that's exactly where I want him to be at, just him coming forward. But also, he might throw a monkey wrench in there and just be like, no, I'm going for the takedown, something that he might have planned. But it's, like I said it before, anytime I strike with somebody, they end up wanting trying to take me down anyway. So I'm ready for all of it. But I feel like this is a really great matchup because he's going to come in, he's going to throw heavy leather, and I'm going to be able to sit there and counter, and he's not going anywhere. He's not going to go out there and be unpredictable. He's going to go in there. He's going to say, meet me in the center. And that's exactly where I'm going to meet him at, in the center, and then we're going to duke it out. And just from looking at some of his fights here and there, I like what I see.
The matchup does remind me a bit of your last fight against Gustavo Lopez, where it's like, you take one to get one, and, obviously your power is something else. He's got, I would argue, has more power, I would think, than Lopez, but still, it's, like I said, fight of the night written all over it. The one glaring thing in this fight, which is kind of interesting, is the experience. I mean, Randy got into the UFC pretty early. He's got a 6-1 record, but you just have, we got 16 fights. That is a pretty big gap compared to just 7. How much do you feel like that will play a role in the fight? It's something I know we always talk about, but it's true. You had a lot of fights to get in the UFC.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He was 6-1. I think he got into the UFC at 4-0. But I think he had a short notice replacement fight with Brandon Davis. And
which was his debut. Which again, he even looked good in that fight. He ended up losing it, but still, it was a very good performance.
Oh yeah, so it really his record really doesn't speak for itself because he's out there training with some really good fighters. He's out there in Florida training under Henry Hooft, and so I look at that and I was like, okay, well, he might be 6-1, but he's still very, very dangerous. The experience, like at the end of the day, it'll drive me through because I've been in some really bad situations, and that's my plan as well too, is to put him in some bad situations, make him think about a couple things before, because just in looking at what he's done, especially like in that Brandon Davis fight, like he significantly slowed down. Like it was an immediate drop off. So I'm not counting on that to happen because he's with a good camp now. I don't know if that transition whenever he fought Brandon Davis to where he's at now, like I don't know if he was with the same gym. So I'm really not counting on it. And I'm expecting him to be able to go like 5-5s if need be. So there's a couple things I look at, but also I've been in some very bad spots, and I've been able to fight back through adversity. So I think it's only going to play a factor in my sense. And for him just to be, his only loss was the first time he's ever been put in any bad positions. Other than that, it's just kind of just been walking the parks for him. So to me, even though he has like lesser experience than me, he's still a very dangerous fighter. And I'm expecting him. I'm expecting him to meet me in the center and throw some heavy leather, and I'm gonna put him in some bad spots.
I think kind of what you're saying there as well. I believe the first fight he had, he was still back home, like out east, and then he moved to Florida, and he was at ATT, and now he's at Sanford. If I'm not mistaken, I'm actually hoping to interview him soon, so maybe I'll get some clarity on that. Maybe I'll send you the interview after, get some insight. But what about you for camp? Business as usual, same camp, same training partners. Anything different for this one?
Yeah, man, we actually gotten back a couple of training partners that I haven't seen in a while. And to me, it's good. It's really good because they know me, they know my style, and they've been coming back into the gym, getting back in shape, and sparring with them has just been really good. Same coach, same training partners as usual. I just have new training partners coming back in. Like my old training partner, Steven Vera, he's coming back in. He was a 135er, 6'1" or 6'2", 135er.
What?
What's
he eating?
Yeah.
Jeez.
At the time he's eating nothing, but he came back. He's back in. I think he's gonna have. He's dropping weight, trying to get down to fight at 145, man, because he could do it. He has the length. He's tall enough, and he got the kicks. He got the length and reach. So for me, it's really good to get that look. And then I have another training partner who's about 5'11", coming in shape, coming in, being able to go the whole entire time with me, not slow down. So to me, like I've been getting good work all around. Like I have great training partners, I have a great gym, so it's been great. And then actually being able to like now I'm starting to settle in a little bit more with the training, with the schedule. It's been amazing for me, especially like this whole entire time since after my UFC debut, like just acclimating to the actual training, and I can see the gains coming in just so much quicker within the camp. So I'm loving this.
Weight cut. I'm sure you got lots of time to make the weight. Everything going according to plan so far?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There is this kind of like weird spot because I was like eating the same amount of food that I was whenever I was working to eating the same amount of food whenever I'm like just regular like training camp. It's weird because you had to kind of like manage it a little bit differently because whenever I was working, I was steadily walking around like 46 because I was like my job just consisted of me walking every single day. Like I was walking a lot, being in the sun and everything. So I was able to
burn the calories a bit more. Yeah.
Oh yes, I was able to maintain like a 146 area, but now I've been bumping up a little bit. But all right, man, weight cut like these past couple weight cuts, even with me being a little bit heavier, have been and like settling in like with muscular wise, like it's been pretty easy. So I'm ready for it. Like I just want to get the weight cut over with so I can so we can go in there and fight.
For people who don't know, how long have you not been doing that job? Because you said you were doing it sort of regular basis. When did you leave your job?
In October, actually, like the week of fight week for my debut in October. After that, it's been like I've been fully dedicated to training. Not after November because I caught COVID right after I came back from my flight from the debut.
Yeah.
So November, I kind of had to stay away because I kept getting like I just had COVID for like about like 3 weeks and symptoms for like 3 days, but like I just had COVID. Like I had my negative test didn't come till like 3 weeks later. So, it kind of sucked. But after that, ever since December on, I've been full time.
Good for you, man. That's great. And then who's going to be in your corner for this fight? Usual group?
Oh yeah, just usual. Just my coach Saul Solis and my brother. I would have another training partner come with me, but the next day, July 25th, all my training partners are fighting for Fury
FC, which I see is on Fight Pass, which is awesome. So
yeah, so it's really cool. So once I fight, I get to fly back and watch them. But also in turn, I don't get to have a training partner with me to like kind of move around with. But also, I didn't have that for whenever the contenders came on, so it's just kind of business as usual.
Yeah, you're used to it. It's all good. July 24th, how's this fight playing out? Obviously, you feel like you're going to get your hand raised, but how do you envision the fight playing out?
Oh, man, I feel like it's going to be a fight of the night. It's going to be fight of the night worthy. Like, I don't see it going any other way. Me getting my hand raised, and it's going to be a fight of the night. It's going to be fun. That's how I've been envisioning it. If I stop him early or if I stop him later, that's fine too. But the fight of the night is like what I have my heart set on. I'm ready to go. Like I'm making sure that my cardio is up to being able to put like that type of like those type of numbers. Like I want like every time I'm training, I think in my head Max Holloway numbers, and I just start ramping up like how many punches I'm throwing, how many kicks I'm throwing. So like I'm like that's my mindset is Max Holloway numbers.
Where does a win put you at this point? Because you've been on a roll, man, and this is another, notable guy that you're fighting, and especially if you get another finish, that's got to start getting you in that conversation with some of these ranked guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially against someone like Randy, who's coming off of 2 knockouts, just like I am. He's coming off of 2 spectacular knockouts. He knocked out Boston Salmon, who had a really good contender series fight, and then comes into the UFC, and then he has to fight Randy Costa, and Randy Costa did what he did to him, and then Journey Newson, he fought him and pretty much like knocked him out, like in like I think it was in a minute, within a minute. So he's coming off of really two good wins. So it should put me up. It should put me up higher to get closer to those ranked guys. But also at the same time, like I know I said it once and I'll say it again. I don't mind if I have to work all the way to get there, because I know in due time it's only inevitable that I get to the top 15. So I would hope it puts me up there, but at the same time, like I said, I don't mind working my ass off to get there.
And before we go, I know we talked about this last time, but I wanted to bring it up again. It must still be pretty cool to hear a guy like Teddy Atlas refer to you and talk about you and stuff. Someone, I know you're a boxing fan as well. It still must be like kind of a cool part of the job, just seeing the respect you're getting from the combat sports community.
Oh yeah, it's phenomenal. Like it's man, it's still one of those things that it's still surreal to me. And actually to get a follow from him on Twitter and on Instagram, like that's really, really cool. It's super cool to me. Especially like I was thinking about it. I was playing Fight Night Champions, and he's one of the guys that does the commentary on there. So I hear his voice consistently. So it's one of those things that's pretty cool that like I hear it on the game. I heard it whenever it was the Friday Fight Nights, and also like the bigger pay-per-view events. You'd hear Teddy Atlas scorecards and everything, and then just to see like him commenting on my fights was super amazing. So it means a big deal to me. So it's still super cool, man. I love it. Like I'm loving it. But also, high praises. You want to keep striving to get better and better and better. So I love it, and it's only making me train harder.
Adrian, thanks for doing this, man. Really appreciate it. UFC Fight Night, July 24th. You can't miss it. Anyone you want to thank? Any sponsors? Any social media? I'll give you the last word.
Oh yeah, man. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me on this interview. I want to give a big shout out to my coach, Saul Solis. Without him, I wouldn't be in the position I am today. Iridium Sports, Jason, Edcap, Jacob, and Jeremy, they do a really great job helping me out. And then also HKA, they provided all my training gear for this camp, and they last. That's one of the things that I've like I usually run through shin guards and gloves within a training camp, but I've been having these gloves and shin guards for like since the Contenders. So they're really good quality. So I love them, man. Thank you so much, man. Thank you for the opportunity.